In the 14th century, long before billionaires, stock markets, or banks, there lived a man so wealthy that modern numbers fail to describe him. His name was Mansa Musa. Historians don't debate whether he was rich. They debate whether the world has ever seen wealth like his again. But Mansa Musa wasn't just rich. He ruled an empire that stretched across much of West Africa, larger than many European kingdoms combined. And yet, outside history books, his empire quietly disappeared from global memory. This is the story of how unimaginable wealth exposed an empire to the world, and how that exposure changed everything. Mansa Musa became emperor of the Mali Empire around 1312. Mali controlled vast lands filled with gold mines, salt routes, and trade networks connecting Africa to the Middle East and Europe. At the time, over half of the world's known gold came from West Africa, and Mansa Musa controlled most of it. But power, to him, was not enough. In 1324, Mansa Musa decided to go on a pilgrimage to Mecca, a religious journey expected of Muslim rulers. What followed was not a journey, it was a global event. Mansa Musa did not travel alone. He brought with him tens of thousands of people, soldiers, officials, servants, scholars, and camels, hundreds of them. Each camel carried gold, so much gold that when Mansa Musa passed through cities like Cairo, he gave it away freely, to the poor, to merchants, to rulers, gold coins, gold dust, gifts without counting. At first, people celebrated him. Then something strange happened. The price of gold collapsed. Entire economies were disrupted, not by war, not by conquest, but by generosity. For years afterward, historians recorded inflation in regions Mansa Musa passed through. One man's wealth had bent markets across continents. Europe noticed. Maps began to change. For the first time, West Africa was drawn clearly, not as empty land, but as a place of kings and gold. On medieval European maps, Mansa Musa was illustrated sitting on a throne, holding a gold coin. But attention comes with consequences. Trade routes shifted. Foreign interest grew. Power dynamics changed. The empire that once thrived quietly was now visible. When Mansa Musa returned to Mali, he invested heavily. He built mosques, universities, and libraries. Timbuktu became a global center of learning, attracting scholars from across the Islamic world. But empires don't collapse overnight. After Mansa Musa's death, leadership weakened. Trade routes evolved. Rivals rose. Colonial ambitions followed centuries later. And slowly, one of the richest empires in human history faded from global dominance. Not because the gold ran out, but because power without continuity cannot survive time. Today, when people ask who the richest man in history was, the answer isn't found on Forbes lists. It's found in forgotten maps and disrupted markets. In an empire that once held so much wealth, it shook the world simply by being seen. Mansa Musa didn't just prove how rich one man could be. He proved how fragile empires become once the world starts watching. If you love this story, hit the like and subscribe button now. The next empire we expose might completely change how you see wealth, power, and history.